Hi everyone. So this is for my family and friends that happen to get this. I'm doing my very first video email, I guess you can call it, at the behest of my honey here, because this would be the easiest way to do it. So it's been a very interesting couple of days for me, for us actually. Thursday, today is Saturday. It's after 10 in the morning and I'm awake. And Thursday, I worked. I did, my regular day routine kind of thing. And I got home and we got ready for bed and took our meds and everything and climbed into bed around 9:30, I think. And somehow I couldn't seem to get to sleep. I was like my chest was kind of heavy a little bit, it was hard to breathe almost a little bit. I kept taking deep breaths and I felt like my legs were really restless. They kept moving. And I just felt like something was really wrong, something wasn't right. And it was hard to open my eyes and everything. So I started to, and Virginia was laying beside me. So I wasn't sure what it was. I kept thinking, oh man, I hope this isn't another heart attack again. But that's what it felt like. So I started rubbing her, and she woke up and she asked what was wrong, and I said something's off. I don't feel right. Something's off my chest. So I kept feeling pressure on my chest somehow, and I decided to grab the aspirin that I had beside me. I had my meds beside me, so I grabbed a couple of aspirin and chewed them up because I knew in my head I had to do something. And still felt really bad. And Virginia called 911 and the ambulance was on their way and she was talking to them. So they suggested taking 3 more aspirin and chewing them up. And I was like, oh, I've already had 2 and they're so gross. So I did. Virginia got 3 more out because it was getting harder for me to articulate my fingers and stuff like that. So she got those out, and then I took them and chewed them up, and I was like so dry, just dry, just chewing up aspirin and that. It was like it tastes gross, and then it's all in your mouth and that. So I finally managed to get a little bit of water, I think, and try and wash that away a little bit. And then the ambulance showed up, and of course we were upstairs in a narrow, like in a townhouse, so they had to bring their little special chair up and tie me in and all kinds of stuff and take me to the hospital and I kept saying Virginia has to come with us. I have to stay. She has to stay with me. I have to be with her because I really somehow didn't feel like I was really worried. I thought I was going to die. I really felt that. And I just needed her to be with me for that because it was important. So we took the ambulance ride. I was still awake. I was like aware. My brain still worked. They asked me questions and I could still answer. But I couldn't open my eyes. I felt every time I opened my eyes, I was like spinning like crazy, like everything was spinning. And it was hard to make my legs work or anything. I just didn't have any strength somehow, which was kind of the same feeling I had when I had my heart attack. So they had me hooked up and everything, and they said your heart's beating normal. Like couldn't figure out what was going on. Why?
Maybe the blood blood work
So
would show something.
kind of hoping, like they took blood work and all that stuff, and then they said all your blood work is all normal, everything's normal, and like it took hours. We
Hospital.
were at the hospital and everything, and then so I guess at the end it was like, we were there. We must have got there probably, I'm guessing, around 10:30. Must have been probably 10:30. We got to the
10.
hospital, and and they were running tests. They had me hooked up. They said my heart was working all right. My blood pressure was normal, but I still had like no strength. Like just had no, like I couldn't make my, I kept trying to move my legs and everything, and I just couldn't seem to. And then breathing, and then something felt weird in my chest. So I wasn't sure what was going on or what was causing it or anything, but they said everything else was normal. So at the end of the day, it was like, I guess they come in, the doctor comes in and says, well, you're free and clear. We're going to let you go home. It's like 3 o'clock in the morning. Something must have been like that. And they were, we're going to get you ready and you can go home. And I said, I still can't seem, I have no strength. I can't even make my legs work almost. And, and they said, well, nothing showing that there's anything wrong with you or anything. And it's like basically insulting me, telling me I'm like delusional or something. I'm like, really? Are you kidding? Said, I'm telling you, I can't make my legs work. They're not working properly here. Like I can't even. It's hard for me to even stand. Like I feel
Much less
dizzy and everything. Like what
sit
do
up.
you? So anyways, well, we're just gonna put you in the wheelchair. We're gonna wheel you to the door, and then someone they'll call a taxi for you, and they'll get you home. It's like, so Virginia's kind of in shock too at the same time. Like we're just like beyond, like you're seriously just gonna let me go home like in this condition right now. It's like, so I had a nurse trying to get me into a chair here. She grabbed my legs and swung my legs out onto like to on the edge of the bed and everything, and tried to get
There's a big rush.
like a big rush to get me out. And I was like, so I finally I got into the chair, and then she kept trying to say that it's time to go and everything and all that stuff, get all your stuff. And I said I still can't believe you're actually trying to get me to go home here, because you're gonna expect my wife to try and get me up the stairs and into a bed, like in a bedroom and all that stuff, like upstairs. And my wife has like she with all like she's obviously disabled, and it's like it's hard, like she's not going to be able to do that. Well, there must be other people or whatever. She was like, really? I'm just so I'm real impressed with the hospital right now, and also the doctor. So anyways, she said, well, my superior says that you have to go. And I said, well, you better go and get your superior, because I want to have a few words with him. Like I was just like really not impressed. So anyways, the doctor shows up and starts going on about, oh, and there's nothing wrong with you, you just got to go, you can just go home and all that stuff. And I was still sitting in the chair, and I'm like, I started to feel that feeling in my chest again, and it was like all dizzy and everything. So I'm trying to maneuver myself back onto the bed somehow, because it's the only way I actually feel any better, if I can kind of lay still and not move. It makes that go away. So so
So
I'm trying to maneuver, and then all of a sudden I'm half on the bed and all that stuff, and then the doctor's like, he's like grabbing me, trying to pull me. He says, well, you better get on the bed properly and all that stuff, and starts pulling me all over the place, like onto the bed and all that stuff. And I'm like I was like, I can't believe this is like happening.
first he started saying, "Open your eyes, open
Oh,
your eyes. I'm
yeah.
talking to you. Open your eyes, open your eyes."
and it's like I don't want to, I can't open my eyes because I just feel nauseous and dizzy and everything. And I had a bucket, like I felt like I was going to throw up again. I I felt like I was going to throw up. And then it was like, and they kept trying to say, no, there's all kinds of cold viruses going around, so you might just have one of those and all that stuff. Like they're trying to minimize what was going on to me and all that stuff. I'm like, ah,
So your head, when you flopped over from the chair, you landed on the bed. Your head was at the foot of the bed. So
oh,
you were curled up at the foot of the bed when he was talking to you.
oh. So anyway, so when I when I somehow got onto the bed, I had my head down by the foot of the bed, and he kept trying to talk to me and all that stuff. Bill, open up your eyes, open up your eyes, look at me when I'm talking to you and all that stuff. Like it's like, and I just I couldn't respond anymore because it was like he was just angry then, and I just I didn't want to go there. I just didn't want to get into it with him and that.
You
So
shut down.
like my eyes were closed, and it was hard. It was just hard. I didn't want to feel that nauseous, like dizzy and all that stuff, and want to throw up. I didn't want that either. So it's easier for me to just not move and not talk and just kind of make my body relax a little bit more and all that stuff. So,
So then I panicked because you weren't moving at all. You weren't
uh,
responding. So I panicked. And then he checked your pulse and he said, "Oh, he's fine. He's got a great pulse. You know, full strength pulse. He's fine." And then he lost it and went
then
from there.
he just got angry after that, and then he says, "Well, we'll let you lay down for a little while until you feel a little bit better, and then you can go."
But he was yanking and pulling you and pushing you in the bed
In the
so that
bed,
he
trying
could,
to get me positioned somehow better on the
from the
bed.
foot of the bed to the other way around by yanking, pulling, and pushing.
Wow.
Yeah. Basically slammed you into the sitting position.
Wow.
So I
So
was just,
Virginia's like in shock. She was like in shock with everything that happened there, like with this doctor and this nurse. So finally they left the room, and I started to feel better a little bit, and then I asked Virginia how if she wanted to go home, and she said, "Yeah, you'd be better there." So we decided to. I was calm. I felt better enough that I was able to get into the wheelchair. And then I saw the nurse poke her head in while I was trying to get into the chair, and then she darted away, like she ran away, like, "Oh, they're going to leave. They're going to leave." And it was like she didn't want any part of jinxing it or something like that. I guess I don't know. And she just so she poked her head. She saw, and then she poked her head back away and left. I was like, and I saw her. It was like, yeah, it's funny. So, anyways, we got into the chair, and I was wrapped up in my blue, you know, hollow back robe from the hospital, and a couple of little thin blankets and everything, and I had I had enough sense when I was at home to put my little knitted slippers on. So I had those on when I left. So that was good. So I had those when I was coming home, and yeah, it was kind of, and then we grabbed a cab, or the cab was right outside the hospital, and they took us home, and we got home. Yep. And managed my way up the stairs, and with Virginia's help, and into bed.
when you slept yesterday.
And I slept the whole day yesterday. I didn't get out of bed. I had my nephew here. He was checking on everything, making sure I was all right, wanted to find out how I was, and I was so happy that it was good to be home. But I tell you, this hospital, I think I'm going to end up lodging a complaint on this doctor and this nurse, at least the doctor. So just unbelievable, the care. Like the
lack
lack of care and concern for my health or
compassion.
anything, or compassion or anything. Like, just not at all. Not
I,
impressed.
I, when they were coming in each time, I would tell them that we've been together 35 years and I've never heard him talk like this before. He doesn't think he's going to wake up. He doesn't want to close his eyes. He doesn't think he's going to make it. He
Yeah.
doesn't think he's going to make it.
Yeah.
And they kept saying, oh, he's fine. His vitals are fine. He's going to be fine. But I said, you don't understand. He's never talked like this before.
I've never felt like that before.
Yeah.
I really didn't feel like I was going to make it through the night somehow.
And you
Like,
kept
not at all.
talking to me. You kept asking me.
Pray to God. Pray to God to let me stay.
And you kept saying, you don't think you're going to make it. You don't think you're
And
going to wake up.
And I need you to
Get me to stay.
you're gonna be the one that keeps me here somehow. That's what I kept saying, because that's how I felt. I felt I was gonna die. It's a scary idea. Anyways, I think that's the gist of what happened over the past couple of days. I just wanted to let everyone know that I'm feeling better.
You're going to try to get out of bed today?
I'm going to try and get out of bed today and kind of move around. I feel strong enough I can do that. I have been eating and drinking lots of fluids and stuff, so I'm feel good that way. So I will try and get up today and kind of move around a little bit, but I'm going to definitely take it easy. So I just want to let you guys know I love all of you so much. And I'm still around, so you don't have to worry. Okay, take care. Have a great day, everyone. We love you. Bye.